guys, join my club. I was like, join? I will join. I will join. I don't know how to swim, but I'll join.
Boop, boop, boop. Anime Talks with the 8am Gang. Yay!
Disclaimer. This video includes sensitive topics such as child abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, hi guys! So today we're going to be doing a not really quick, probably gonna take 2 hours, but 8am Gang pod on Belle. Belle, Studio Chizu, directed by Mamoru Hosada, and he's just an amazing director. My sisters and I have been following his works for so long. But anyways, we're here with the 8am Gang today. So we have Berna. Hi! We have Joy, who's triple dot. We have Moon.
Say hi, Moon.
Moon.
Hello, hello.
We have Illvsive.
Hey yo.
We have Ivan.
Hello.
We have Karate.
How you doing?
And we have Peter.
Salutations, everyone.
Yay! So that's the gang for today. We literally just finished watching Belle. I wanted to do a little history lesson in place of Alan, since he's not here. I'm joking. A little history lesson on Mamoru Hosada's life, because I think he's a really interesting guy. So he's obviously Japanese. He was very inspired by Ghibli growing up. Because of Ghibli, he decided to go into animation, right? So then he majored in oil painting and he graduated from art. And then he landed a job at Toei Animation. And Toei Animation is, One Piece, Sailor Moon, I believe, right?
Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like OG animation studio. But he originally applied at Studio Ghibli. He didn't get the job. He got rejected, but he got praised by Hayao Miyazaki himself. So then he worked at Toei Animation and he worked his way up. He started with Digimon Adventure series, like two movies from Digimon. And because of his success in Toei, he got attracted by the Ghibli head producer. So then Ghibli was gonna hire him to do Howl's Moving Castle. So he originally was supposed to direct Howl's Moving Castle. So imagine if he was the one to direct Howl's Moving Castle, how different it would be, right?
Yeah.
It would all be hot.
They would all be hot. But the reason why he ended up not going with directing Howl's Moving Castle was because they had creative differences. According to Hosada, he was told to make the movie similar to how Miyazaki would have made it. But because of that, he was like, nah. I want to make it the way I want to make it, Which in my perspective is a really good move. As a creative person, you don't want to be like, I'm gonna make a movie like this other director, As a creative person, you want to do it through your own creative eye, right? So although Ghibli was obviously the reason why he started animation and was given such an amazing opportunity, I think his decision to turn down Howl's Moving Castle was a really good choice. So yeah, he left Ghibli and then he returned to Toei. He did more animated stuff. He also directed a One Piece film, which is really cool. And then he got hired at Madhouse. But in Madhouse, he actually directed his first quote-unquote known film under his style, I guess you could say. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Summer Wars. And then after those, he actually created his own animation studio, Studio Chizu. And then he made Wolf Children, Boy and the Beast, and Mirai and Belle, which all of them I highly recommend, because I know there's a lot of new anime fans who are being discovered or discovering anime through Belle, and anime is just being more popular these days. So I highly recommend to those watching this to check out his older films, because I grew up watching those too, and they're all really amazing. But yeah, I think that was really, 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 really interesting, his journey through all of this. And Mirai was actually nominated for Best Animated Feature Film in 2019, but it lost to, guess what? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which in my opinion was, it's kind of, it's justified in my opinion. But hopefully for the future Oscars, Belle can be nominated and hopefully win, That would be really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little background on the director and to give him some light, shine some light on him. Mappa?
Madhouse, sorry.
Madhouse?
Madhouse.
Madhouse did Satoshi
Madhouse,
Kon?
Satoshi Kon, and like Cardcaptor Sakura, Death Note.
Hunter x Hunter?
Like the most popular ones.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's sick. That's really cool.
What did you guys think about the movie before you saw it?
Oh, first thoughts. Pre-thoughts.
Yeah, first thoughts.
Prior to this, I've actually never seen this movie. I'm very limited in my knowledge of anime movies in general, but seeing this movie, you could definitely tell there were certain inspirations from past movies, but I really enjoyed it. And it's not just the storylines that drew me in, but also, okay, I was a choir boy for a little while, so even just the music. Holy cow. If you're gonna do anime movie where it focuses on music, this is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah. I also thought it was going to be a lot like Beauty and the Beast, like exactly like plot point for plot point.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, I found that interesting too because me and Joy, when we were watching it, we're like, okay, what was the story of Beauty and the Beast again? And we're kind of like trying to relate it to how they would play in the movie, but like it was like very different.
It was super different, but they still
I agree.
intertwined it.
Yeah.
I remember in the original trailer, they did like the whole dance scene with like the Beast and Beauty or Belle.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh, it might be like a retold story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it would be very heavy on the original, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's my interpretation of it because I thought, oh, this is going to be like an anime version of, Beauty and the Beast, but it turned out, no, it wasn't. It just, even though it's not, but you could see certain things. And I think that's basically just the thing that kind of like, it didn't detract from the film. It actually added to it, which I liked.
Yes.
Yeah, it gave more depth because like as we were watching it the first time around, I did say this is pretty much Beauty and the Beast meets SAO, which is Sword Art Online. I'm still amazed just how, yes, there's like lots of references to Beauty and the Beast, but it gave like its own different flair to it, like a Beauty and the Beast meets SAO kind of feel, which is really refreshing. It was fantastic.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Like I agree with what Karate said. Although like with SAO, like I think we can expand more on that. I think it's more like movies that revolve on a digital background. The director Mamoru Hosada, like he basically worked on Digimon, correct? So I kind of felt like I saw more Digimon vibes than SAO, but that's just from my personal experience. But also like, since we're comparing it to like, like Beauty and the Beast, even though it was not really like, shot for shot for the movie. It's kind of funny because the title in Japanese is Yuto Soba Kazu no Hime, which literally translates to Dragon and the Freckled Princess.
That's cute. That's really cute.
And and I find it funny that the translators actually translated to Belle, which kind of gave you the more Beauty and the Beast vibe, and it kind of works. That's just a little thing I noticed about it.
Yeah, to build off of that, it is more like his previous film Summer Wars with the whole digital thing. And I think Hosada also mentioned how it's a digital world that he like wants to have in real life.
Aww.
Like it's his dream to have something like that.
It looks like a really good world.
Should get
From-
GTA.
It will be coming. It will be coming.
GTA.
In that world, there's so many flaws. and I
Yeah.
think that's a big problem.
Can we talk about the world building? Yeah, the world of you and like what type of world this movie was trying to set up, because I think that's also worth talking about. Yeah, like I saw like a lot of parallels. Like, Karate saw a lot of parallels with SAO. I saw a lot with Digimon, especially with all the messages bubbles, like all the message bubbles that you would see everybody type out whenever they had a comment, whether it be rude or whether it be like supportive of like either Belle or the Beast in that war. I think it was like a great choice because it felt like it was more like, I guess, like nostalgic, but in a way it's something new in a way, if that makes any sense.
It's like related to modern times actually, because like you see how we always have social media,
Yeah.
and like everyone's commenting this, commenting that, negative or positive, and then like I guess the movie was trying to portray that as well. Like certain scenes, she's being affected by certain comments, or Actually, the movie shows a lot of comments, and that's like really big in the beginning.
They didn't like her at first, right? Like you kind
Yeah.
of like expected her to like start singing, and she was like instant like drawing a
Star.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna go down. But they were being incredibly mean to her, and the only one who
Mhm.
was nice was the angel avatar. So
I
that
think
was
yeah. I think that part was such an amazing representation of mob mentality,
yes,
right? Because I think I can relate this to like how TikTok is, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
there'll just be a random video of like, some girl just talking about something positive, and then some other creator would stitch the TikTok and then probably comment something like negative about this girl. And then because of that, it will like send a lot of like negative people to the original TikTok and then like start hating on her or that person. So that's how like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's similar to that. Like everyone just like collectively kind of hated on her, didn't really like think of anything until people started posting like more positive things, and then that's how she blew up faster.
Could you tie that in also with the scene of like the girls, right, when they were all gossiping and it was like a whole board game? But I feel like that's
Mhm.
kind of how those things work too. It's a kind of a giant game at the end of the day, right? Like a social game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that aspect of it too.
Yeah, and I like how it illustrates a little bit of the ugliness of like, social media, but also like how we as humans function in society as well. So I think that was a really good way to go about it. It was subtle, but it's something that you be like, oh, that is totally relatable. But it wasn't like in your
Yeah.
face with it, which I appreciated.
Like it also speaks to like how we as people are pretty terrible at times, but at the same time, like we can also show the beauty of human nature because of how they use technology and social media to elevate each other. In the end, it depends on the user and how they influence the people around them. Like, will they use it for their own toxic needs, or will they just try to hold people up higher?
I feel in the beginning, the film was actually doing the opposite. It was showing like as Belle was trying to grow through the U, it was all the other popular or more known avatars were talking down on Belle,
Mhm.
trying to say
Yeah.
it was multiple people. It was just negative comments to belittle the Belle's avatar. It was like either fake or it was
And just
multiple
annoying.
people doing one thing for Belle when it was
Envy,
really
right?
just Belle and her friend. Like even the most popular avatar,
The
Sue.
still white-haired
Yeah,
one.
Peggy Sue. There we go. Yeah, she was all like, "Oh, Belle's this, Belle's that. Belle doesn't mean nothing." But like, it's like, why are you doing that? It doesn't make sense to belittle someone else, even though they're trying. They're not doing anything to you. They're
Mhm.
just trying to stand out and do their own thing.
Good perspective.
But yeah, I think that's basically reflective of like, how like certain people think they know what's good for like what people expect, I suppose. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna explain this well, but it's like how you would probably perceive someone's actions and you would think it's totally wrong because you wouldn't do it, but the other person does it and they somehow flourish because of that. So, like people end up judging anyway. So the thing of it is that what does that say about you? But not many people ask that question while you're like judging someone else.
Yeah, that's a very common thing.
And then like the part about worrying about others, like if we go back and we start at the beginning of the movie, right? Like with her mom. Here's my interpretation, and then I want to know if like anyone else's is different but my whole thing was like she started out the movie not understanding, right? Like why her mom was willing to like sacrifice herself like for a kid that like wasn't related to her. So I thought that was interesting, and I think she struggled with that like for years because she couldn't understand why her mom would make a sacrifice for someone she barely knew. Like being angry and having like remorse over that at the same time, it seems like. And then that came to like full circle with like what sacrifices she had to make like later on in the movie.
Mhm.
I thought those are interesting. Like I don't know if those counts as like character development or what,
Character
but I like the
development.
parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was character
Yeah.
development.
Yeah, I believe it does.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting. Like her mom sacrificed her life for someone she didn't know, but she did the same thing. At the end, she sacrificed, her online presence, her real life presence. Potentially, she could get like beat up. Okay, not beat up, but like, like what is
Targeted.
it? Targeted. Yeah, targeted. Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff like that, you know. But she sacrificed all of it for those kids to trust her and to, like, you know, so she could help them too. So yeah, you're right. Like, it was like all full circle at the end, and like she did like learn and understand why her mom did that, and I think that helped her get closure with the situation.
That's what got me so emotional.
Yeah.
That
You're gonna
part. Oh my
emotional.
gosh.
The other
She's
thing I
just
think
like
she
her.
had trouble with was accepting why her mom didn't stay with her. So now she had to grow up without a mom, and I feel like that all traumatized her growing up and separated
Agreed.
the music out of her life and the the connection between her and her dad. She just reclused alone. It was sad.
Basically, like after you brought that up, Moon, like about her mom, like rescuing that little girl, she didn't get praised for it at all. She was actually criticized
Yeah.
for it. And I thought that was a really awesome
Yeah.
choice because people do that too. And it's like I remember a book I read. It's called Deep Kindness. And basically there's a portion in the book where it talks about true kindness, even though like, you know, like we can be like nice to each other and everything. But true kindness is like from what I've learned from that book is that it's doing something for someone else, even if it makes you uncomfortable, and even if people are going to criticize you for it. And I was thinking of that quote as the mom was like doing it, like basically rescuing the little girl. And when the criticism came from like the people in the town, I was like, oh my God, this is like her mom actually did like a kind act and didn't get praised for it. Even though like we as the viewers, we find that very messed up, but at the same time, like there will be people like that, even though it seems like a valorous thing to do.
I also
So
saw like
polite.
their perspective as well. Like if you think about it, she's leaving behind her family doing that. It's like it's also not a smart thing to do because like you're leaving behind a whole nother mess. It's a really like moral thing to think about, and she
Yeah.
just went ahead and did it, and she lost her life.
That's a true hero, though.
And yeah, it's a true hero, but look at the consequence it left. Her daughter was
Yeah.
traumatized, and her family was almost basically broken because of it.
And that's a valid point to make. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing of it is that I think what that scene, those scenes illustrate is that we humans are not like the things that we do are neither right or wrong. It's just totally different perspectives,
Yeah,
completely in conflict with each other.
it's always
And
two
the thing
sides
of it
of a
is
coin.
that yeah, and whatever people perceive is the right perception is their own. But when it comes in conflict with someone else's perception, then they have to find a way to deal with that, whether it be through criticism or through praise of that person's actions. At least that's what I think about that.
Were you going to say anything, Moon?
No, those are all really solid
Oh.
points. I think I was just tying with that in with like, yeah, deep. The points you guys made, like I think it reflects in her actions, like to that day, right? Like she couldn't sing without like throwing up unless she was
Yeah.
in her avatar, and she also is really sensitive to criticism from others, and when they start talking about her. So I wonder if that reminds her of that day, because all she could hear was people like berating her mother, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. These are things I picked up having been someone who's watching it for the second time now.
Dang.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited when everyone can see it a second time because it opens up other
More
perspectives.
thoughts, yeah.
Because you're kind
And
of distracted the whole time thinking about like who's the beast, right? Like I feel like that takes
Mhm.
a lot of your attention away
It
and
does, it
stuff.
does.
Pear was so set on the dad.
No,
And I
for
felt bad because
real.
we kept gaslighting her. We're like, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, because you kind of know like what going into it, it's like loosely based off of the Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
So I found it so interesting because obviously you're gonna be like, oh, he's probably like the main guy, right? Because, you know, romance, right? In your head,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I think, you know, the average viewer would probably guess it's the main guy, the love interest, right? And I find it so interesting how it kind of baits you into thinking that and then reveals that it's just some random kid on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
so amazing. That's so, like, okay, I just found that so amazing because at the end of the day, when you're on the internet playing these games, you don't know who's on the other side. You might think you know, like how the viewers think it was that guy. But at the end of the day, that y'all are strangers. all of you are strangers, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found that part like that's how I saw it, kind of related it to how the internet is just, crazy big, and how
Yeah.
like it can be anyone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but like at the same time, on like while we were watching, I was really on the fence if it was the main guy, because I was like, that's kind of easy. We have so much
Too
time left
easy.
in the movie.
Yeah,
When I
exactly.
saw
Yeah.
Luce's mouse move, right? I was like, we have so much time left. Is it really the main guy? Or is it the dad? Like, I had no idea. That's why I was so shook when they were like, it's the kid. And I was like, what? And then it took a turn to, household abuse and stuff like that. But I think it also illustrates another interesting topic of the internet, of how they were able to find out where those kids lived based off of
No.
That was
watching.
crazy.
It's so
Scary.
scary. It's so scary. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. That made me so
Oh
scared.
my
But that's how
goodness.
I mean,
it be like that, like in K-pop,
Yeah.
right? Like there's these
Yeah.
crazy fans called Saesang, and like they will find out where these idols live based off of like selfies they take in their house or something,
Gosh.
Like, I hate it. But it's like it's real. That's how it is,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was like really fascinating, that whole little part of the movie.
I agree.
yeah, like that part when they were like using the internet to basically find out where these guys live. Like when you brought up like the groupies, Angela, it reminded me of like when Moon was streaming Tears of Themis, and like one of the MC's friends is a groupie,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Oh my
instantly
god, that was
and they instantly knew where the celebrity that was in question was
Oh,
or was
jeez.
going to be at. So I was like, oh my god, I didn't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very funny. I'll give my super quick theory, because I kind of got it right and I got it really wrong at the same time. So
Mhm.
I became suspicious of the boy and his brother the minute we saw them together in the castle, because I was like, there's some relationship between the angel and the dragon, right? And so I kept seeing the images of the two boys, and then I remember the father, and I was thinking the whole movie that those two boys in the interview was her childhood friend and the canoe guy. I thought the childhood friend and the canoe guy were brothers, and that was like old video footage of them or something.
Mhm.
And so I knew it was them, but I didn't at the same time, because I thought they were different people. So I was like, I guessed it, but then I didn't, because that got confusing in my mind for whatever reason. But I just thought that was a funny misunderstanding that I
That's
had.
a pretty good theory, though.
And watching it a second time, it makes sense because they're yelling, right? I told you this, Berna, they were yelling at each other, right? And then the angel starts to float off, and he's really concerned because he's like, oh no, like, are we in trouble? Like, and he starts to like run away, and he becomes really gentle and brings him back into the castle.
Mhm.
And like that's very reflective in what we see in the video footage, right? When they're online and their dad comes in. So
Mhm. I think so that's so interesting, because like in the moment when you're watching it, you're just like, oh yeah, like the beast actually isn't scary. He's like a soft boy, But like
yeah.
deeper, yeah, that's what I was typing. I was like, soft boy. I was like, oh, scary guy, and like cute little thingy,
Wow.
like cute. Ah, he's actually soft, Like when you're watching it for the first time, you think that, right? But then like I guess
Yeah.
this movie's good, yeah, like to rewatch, to really think of like the mannerisms of the beast, and I think that
Yeah.
was a cool catch, Moon. That's cool.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Wow, you're so cool.
My only big brain moment.
No,
in
no.
this movie.
What do you mean?
Oh, Moon,
Because
come on.
So
before the
far.
castle, before the castle, I did think it was everyone. I was suspecting the dad. I was even suspecting the popular girl to be the dragon at first. I was
Wow.
like, it's gonna be anyone. And then
Mhm.
that's when it clicked for me in the castle. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
But they really baited the guy when he was like,
Yeah.
Belle. And I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah.
But then at the same time, but like, huh?
Yeah. I
Ang's
was-
reaction was so funny. You were just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Joe were like, what? And literally, I was staring at the screen, typing what?
Yeah.
That's why I was hearing so many pings from Discord. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
oops, sorry.
so much.
It's me. I was freaking
Yeah,
out.
you two were going crazy.
I was hearing bloop, bloop, bloop. I was like, what the heck?
But
Oh
Angel,
my
your
gosh.
theory was so funny. One where you were like the canoe guy and the popular girl together, but you got that part right. But then you thought that the
Yeah.
canoe guy was
Strong boy.
the Gaston guy,
Yeah, the Gaston guy.
the unveil guy.
Yeah.
And then you thought that the girl was who
the
again?
that old top streamer, the girl with the white hair.
Peggy Sue.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
Yeah, I
I
thought
thought that was so funny.
I thought so.
I was like, you're right, but wrong.
I think it was funny because afterwards, when they were like doing the whole singing scene, she was holding a saxophone IRL, and then when we were watching, I was like, "Ha! That person has a saxophone, like in the game, right?" And then when they cut to
Yeah.
IRL, she had the saxophone. I was like, "Oh, that's her!" So she isn't the big streamer girl. Okay, oops.
I did not
Yeah.
put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yes. You see, you're catching things that I didn't even catch after watching it 2 times. Because I was surprised. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't like assign a person to the rival like idol.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Also, didn't you kind of guess that she kind of had a crush on Kunu guy? Because you were like,
Oh,
Yeah,
in the
in the
beginning of the film.
beginning.
that.
In the beginning.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the beginning, she gave him
looked-
a side eye.
She looked.
Yeah.
Mm. I like them
Side-
I
together.
noticed
They're
that
so
at the
cute.
second time I watched it.
No, I know
Oh.
the beginning, the first time. It was like, what does that
I
mean?
thought she thought he was weird though. Like I did not take a romantic side eye from that like at all.
Yeah,
I was
I-
like,
Mm.
Yeah, I was the same way, Moon. I think it was like, it felt like, oh, it's just like, him being him. It's like, he's just being like goofy.
yeah. And then that scene, I felt it. I felt like I was there. When the canoe guy and the popular girl, the confession scene. Where he's like,
so
I know. Oh my god.
No,
I
that is
felt
totally
that
reflective of what
awkwardness
we have in that
in my
situation.
soul. But it was
But I
so
love
good.
it at the same time. Yeah.
It was so good.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Like my face like was like red. I felt like when I was watching it. It's just
Secondhand embarrassment, kind of.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
second
so cute though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to talk about that scene for a minute. It's like,
Yes.
I watched that scene and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my god, now they're awkward now. But I love the way, because usually with scenes like that, like one person runs away, and I'm like, oh, one of them's gonna run away. And when the guy walked off
Yeah.
screen, I was like, oh, here it goes. But then he comes back, and I'm
I
like,
know.
are they dragging this out? And then I love the way how they drag it out because it's so awkward. But then it gets to the point where they actually are communicating with each other, and I'm like, that is how you get there. That's how you get there. There's no drama. It's just basically just them talking. That's all it is.
So good.
Yep.
It's so good.
Relationship goals.
For real.
The thing
so
that grabs my attention the most is that the girl that he was confessing to, she didn't even move 1 inch for like 30 seconds. Just out of
I mean,
I know.
she was embarrassed.
exactly. I
They were
thought she
both
would have
embarrassed.
yeah, I thought she would have taken off by that moment.
She didn't really
It's
have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Kind of
True.
in a way, because like one person represents one type of embarrassment and the other person represents the other type of
Other.
embarrassment, which is running away.
She was also ready to tell him though, because remember
she was
she was-
ready.
Mhm.
yeah, she was asking that girl, the MC, to set her up.
Yeah, it's like Wing Girl.
Yeah, but it was they were thinking about 2 different guys, so
Ah,
is
yeah,
like-
yeah, yeah.
I like, because I was like, of course I was jealous, right, when they flashed a scene to the popular girl talking to him after she runs away. I'm like, no,
Uh-huh.
like your Vance.
I know. She got
I
snatched.
know.
Wait. I remember
Yeah,
like I remember the popular girl. Like someone called her creepy.
The same guy, the canoe guy.
The canoe guy said it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
she like
Oh.
she freezes up because she gets so nervous. So
Oh,
then
yeah.
Yeah.
then it weirded him out, and he was
Yeah.
like,
And Suzu got so mad.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just
That's
want to make sure because I didn't memorize all their names yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget names really bad
With
too.
the confession scene, I thought it was so funny because she was saying, "I'll cheer you on," and he was like, cheering on? Like, does that mean Because like he said the same thing in the other scene.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, boy, you better keep thinking that, please. Don't listen to the other guy. He's the liar. In this
I feel like
situation.
when you were watching that scene, you were just screaming. It's like, yo, say the line, because you know she's not gonna say it to you, but you're gonna say it for her. Just do it. Oh my god, yeah, that scene was hilarious, but it was also wholesome. I really loved that.
Because
Yeah,
they ended up getting comfortable with each other at the end too.
and that's what it takes.
After they confessed and they accepted each other's feelings, I guess.
That. Sorry.
Yeah,
And they stayed talking the whole time, even when she left. That was
I
fun.
Yeah.
know, I just
Yeah.
feel so single.
Way to slam it in my face.
I know.
No, because I thought that was really interesting too. Like, while I guess we're on the topic of like liking and like the love aspect, it was like you said earlier, and you kind of like expect it to be more of a romance movie,
Mhm.
but there was a lot of love in it. But I don't think it was necessarily romantic love.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
that is
yes.
true.
Go ahead. Yeah, both with her childhood friend and the dragon, right? Like it was different kinds of love. I don't think
Yeah.
either of them were necessarily romantic. I was thinking at the end maybe there was like room for it, like later down the line, but where they stood now, it was a different kind of like love.
Yeah,
Yeah, and self-love as well.
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
That was the big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I could say she did like the childhood friend,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
the love for the dragon. It wasn't a romantic love. It was more like finding someone similar to you, finding someone who understands you,
mhm.
Or
and
who
that
would care
was
about you.
yeah, that kind of love. And it was
A motherly
like,
love.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say motherly, but it was
Platonic.
just I don't know what that means, but yeah. And
Space.
Not romantic.
like
not
like
romantic.
if you notice at the end of the end of the film, he says I love you, and she
Yes.
says thanks. But I didn't see that romantically.
Same.
It was more
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
what is it? Grateful.
Yeah, grateful.
Like I love you for
Yeah.
helping
Yeah.
me
Yeah, for
get out of
being
the
there.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see that as romantically. But I did
Yeah.
see hers romantically with the childhood friend.
Mhm.
mhm.
And then with him reciprocating the feelings, it didn't seem like that's what he was gonna do. But at the same time, it feels like that's what he was also gonna do, you know? Teetering on that.
Yeah. That's
So-
why I thought
Um,
like later down the line, because he at the end he says, I can finally stop protecting you. And
Be real.
for me that's like, yeah, like he's taking a more like guardian kind of role in her life. Not so much like romantic, but just genuine like care for her
Mhm.
because of like them being childhood friends and this and that. And I think she
Yeah.
said when she was talking to the popular girl that she used to stand up for him or something like that, and she felt
Yeah.
like maybe he just wanted to repay her. So when he like stretches and feels relief that he doesn't have to like play that role for her anymore, I think that's when it opens up to like either they're going to continue to be really good friends, or his feelings could be less guardianship wise and more romantic wise, like in the future potentially. I guess is how I saw it.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that same.
yeah,
Yeah.
because in Japanese culture, like osara najumis or childhood friends, they're particularly looked upon as like family members to like everybody within the family, like the parents of the two kids. And like many parents are like, oh, they're gonna get romantically involved and all that stuff if it's a daughter or a son. And like I think when you said like a guardianship role, Moon, that actually is really illustrative of that type of relationship. So, and it's kind of funny because like you could tell that he knows that she has feelings for him, but he's not gonna outwardly like ask her out. It's
Yeah.
more like he's trying to like he wants to help her more so that she can actually like express her feelings to him in a more direct way, being comfortable with herself, I suppose. Like I'm just speculating here, but that's how I see it. It also defines different relationships, like what the film does. At the beginning, it's more like how you relate. I mean, the whole movie as a whole, it's like you're trying to find the relationship with yourself, but at the same time, like the relationship you have upon others.
Yeah, so I could see more of a family type of relationship.
Yeah, it's like
with
we're all
that and
interconnected in
stuff.
a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Oh.
other takes on it?
Not necessarily on this topic, but I did like the introduction when she went into the platform.
Yeah, like the app itself and how.
Yeah, It was very nice. It was confusing on how it works because it looks just like it's like earbuds, but
Yeah.
somehow they take your like
Your brain
biometrics.
waves.
And
Brainwaves.
yeah, because they also like they change your vision to the platform, which is strange. Like I don't know how that's possible.
Right through
I
your
don't
ear.
I don't think it does that per se. I think the ears, like the earbuds, basically the audio simulation of what's going on in the world around you. I think like the visuals are just based on what you see on your phone. So they basically like it's like they're immersed in the world so much that you basically are engaged with it, with the characters. So I think that's why it seems like it's so real to them.
I thought
Yeah,
that at first too.
you
But
always
then
see them on the computer too.
yeah. But like it was during that one scene where it introduces it, it says something about now we're changing your vision into the U platform.
Yeah.
And then her eyes went like shh, but she's not looking at her phone. That's why. That's why I was
Whoa,
like,
technology.
yeah, I was like, whoa. Could be
It's like
could
it's
be
like
the
how
way.
you said
I mean, you could
what
be right. You
SAO
could be
wanted
right.
to be, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like, I
I
think I
think-
meant probably that earlier.
This is like
Oh,
this
okay.
is related, but it's just it's kind of dumb. But I couldn't,
No.
you know when like you know when they were like fighting and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like getting attacked, and then the beast was like, oh my god, or dragon.
Like in the castle, you mean?
Yeah.
Or in
Or
the
In the
just, like,
castle or the stadium?
in general, just like both, just like fighting in
Okay.
general.
Mhm.
So you know how like they're getting attacked? Like I can't help but keep thinking of like, you know, like
Oh.
GTA RP, and then they're like, ugh. So like just imagine this man on the computer like, ugh, ow, wow, you know, like it's I just keep thinking about that, and I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
she's
that's,
fine.
that's a good point because
Yeah.
that
Open
brought up,
topic.
remember you kept saying log out?
Log
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Log
yeah.
out?
I was thinking the
That
same
is
thing.
such a valid question. Why could they not log out from these situations?
Maybe it's
Like-
it's the rules. Like you have to go to sleep. You can't just
Have
log
to go
out.
sleep.
Maybe.
Oh, you have to go
GTA
back,
RP.
you have to go back to home base.
Yeah, you have to go to home
RP.
and then
Yeah.
log out.
Like
from
it's
there.
a rule, yeah.
Maybe you have to
To
I
be
stay
guess-
able
in
to
or
log out
something.
from there, yeah.
That could make sense. That could make a lot of sense
Yeah,
because that's why she would have to escape the castle. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go with that. I like that.
that's a good theory. We'll
That's a good
ask the
theory.
directors one day. Why can't we just log out? You know,
Yeah, that's like that's
Yeah,
his
like-
whole life,
Well, that's
whole life was being
explained.
threatened.
What's the logout policy before I sign my contract for this?
Yeah,
It's
right,
like,
right.
I think it's on the dotted line right there. Just sign it.
Yeah.
I like
And the terms
that.
and conditions that we always skip.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we're just
Yeah,
like
that you don't read over. Yeah.
a
You
new
read the
life.
terms.
Sign me up.
Hey, listen,
Hungry up
I
right
do
now.
read these things. I do read them,
Wow, you're so cool. Listen.
but I don't read the privacy policy. 'Cause That's no longer.
That's an important one.
So when you click agree,
No, because I know they're gonna sell the information anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah, they're all about
Oh,
Terms that I wanna know. You know, the privacy
Terms and
policy. I know they're gonna take my information.
True.
I don't care about that.
hmm
The terms.
yeah.
They're gonna take it regardless.
Yeah.
I was just
Don't
gonna
they?
say I like that they choose your avatar for you and that you don't have control over it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was gonna
Yeah.
talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, no.
I thought you were gonna
It's
move to a
perfect.
different topic from
No,
that.
no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay, what are you gonna say? Sorry.
But with the story, I thought it was really interesting that they, you know, like get the the best traits about you, and then they kind of like amplify it in the as your avatar. Isn't that it? Right?
Oh
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
so.
That's
Yeah.
it, right? So I thought
Yeah.
I think that was really interesting in the story because it's like maybe like she didn't like her freckles IRL, you know, and then they kind of like amplified it like on her character.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so interesting how like it's like an alt, you know? Like it's a different life, a life where you can have more courage to do so many things, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
the commercial was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's like interesting how it's kind of like very similar to IRL, like in real life, because
Oh yeah.
like I can relate to the main character because your girl, she's shy, she can't sing, like at karaoke. I really related to when she was in the karaoke bar and then like everyone's like telling her to sing and stuff and she got like really nervous because like when I
Oh
was younger,
yes.
like people would make me sing during karaoke like kind of forced me to. And like I was too scared to because I was like low-key kind of bullied that I was a bad singer growing up. So a lot of people were like, "You sing bad, stop singing," you know. But this was this was a long, long, long,
No,
long
I
time
relate
ago.
to that so well, Angie. Because
This was a long time ago.
I was like that too. Like your relatives would push you to sing in
Yeah,
karaoke,
including-
and that was like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, so like my mom would like force me to do karaoke, and then I'd just be like, I can't sing. So like my old videos of me karaoke, I'm always like with Joy or whatever. But yeah, so like I can kind of relate to Belle in the way where I can't publicly like public singing, speaking, whatever. But it's like on YouTube, online, it's like a different like I have more courage, you know. So it's like I just found it interesting how I personally related to that aspect to it of like online life, and I'm sure a lot of people can also relate as well.
And it's also too like with cyberbullying too. Like, I just want to go back to that piece for just a real second.
yeah,
The
definitely.
repercussions that people can get away with online are way bigger than what they can get away with IRL. Because growing up, if you were to say something to someone to their face, sure, you get respect for saying it, but at the same time, it's not going to go unanswered. Versus online, that anonymity sometimes will shield you unless you actually know the person IRL.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dang, we got deep.
I'd like
No.
to change the subject back to where
Yeah, go ahead.
the intro where she goes into you
Mm-hmm.
when she sings her 1st song, the
Oh, yeah.
Gales of
Yozo's song.
Gales of Song. I love that song. I really do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Ugh.
That song, I feel like it portrays her feelings towards her past trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a song that's meant to be dedicated to her mother.
Oh.
If you listen to it, I guess, saying like how she can go on, that she can't accept the life without that person, which I believe is her mom. She's like, I don't know, she doesn't know what to do. She's alone. Even like the things that she had, the music and everything, it's gone. But now that like she entered you, it's like a new beginning in a way, a new confidence.
Like a new outlook on life in a way.
I wouldn't say a new outlook, but more of a new gained confidence in what she can do. Because like, remember how she couldn't sing in the real world,
Yes.
but she managed to sing in you. Like everything just poured out through that one song.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, I guess she must have kept inside. And I saw that, it was like really sad, I guess. When I first heard that, I was just like, I was deeply into it. A tear maybe came out. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the game does a good job at like opening her up too, because when we were talking about the freckles, for example, like when she first saw her avatar, she didn't believe it was like hers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until the freckles were added, and it was like the thing that she was like unsure of was also the thing that like reassured her that that was like her, which I thought was interesting. And then that leading up to her being able to open up about her mom in the game, I like tying those two things together too when you mentioned that, Illvsive. But yeah.
Yeah. The freckles thing where she thought it was Luca, but then it was like, oh no, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty.
So pretty. I just couldn't help but think like because you see the other yeah, you see sorry, but you see the other like random characters in the background. They're like freaking frogs, fishes. Like imagine going up to this game like we're going to choose the best parts of you to create a avatar. Fish.
That is a really good point.
And then you see someone like Belle going viral, like, why don't I look like that? Why did this game give me a fish?
No, I'm so curious and like how I would.
Yeah, I was
Right?
thinking
Like how
Yeah,
they put it together, right?
Would
Yeah.
I be a fish? I would.
No, you'd be a rock.
Oh yeah, I would be a rock. Perfect.
Like her best friend was also like a weird creature. Like I'm
Yeah.
surprised like she didn't even say anything. Like basically like, yo, why are you like why are you Belle? Why you look like this? Like why do I look like this?
But I love that the fact that she didn't really like complain about it. Like she was more supportive, you know. She's like, yeah, we're gonna make you a
Yeah,
star.
I get what you
Yeah.
mean.
I'm
I get
your
what you mean.
manager.
It would have
Oh
been
yeah,
funny
that was
though.
also a true friendship.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
supporting Suzu.
Hmm.
It was really nice. What actually was your favorite song in the movie?
Dude, I have to listen to it all again. I just watched the movie in my head. I didn't listen to the whole sound. Well, I listened to it after when you played it. So.
Okay.
for
Was
now.
there a scene that stood out then with the
Yeah,
voice that like gave you chills like in
The
this moment?
dramatic scene where she was like,
which one?
when she turned,
There's a lot of those.
when she turned into her true self and was like,
A million
"Hello."
miles away.
Million
Yeah,
miles
I like
away,
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Spoke to my soul.
What about you,
For sure.
Berna?
A million miles away. I like how the beginning it's like really, really, and then it like builds up, and then it becomes happy. Like, ah! It speaks to my soul, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Similar, same exact thing as Berna, like Millions of Miles Away is my favorite, specifically because it starts out sad and then like that scene where she just like bursts through the crowd on the whale. Like I just really like scenes that are kind of like meant to like pull you up sort of in a way or like make you feel like joyful or hopeful. And that's like exactly what that song and that scene like does for me. So all the same things that Berna said, that's why it's my favorite as well. Gave me Tangled vibes kind of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
The
does.
lanterns, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
You guys like any of the songs?
Whatever the title was for the last song, Million Miles Away. There you go. It's just like how everyone just got into it, and she kind of did like her singing just kind of reminded me like when she was inviting everyone to sing with her. It kind of like brought out like Freddie Mercury kind of like vibes, like what he did back in the 80s. So it kind of brings that aspect to it. And then let's remember this too. When she started the song, it was the purest form of herself as possible. She was scared just to sing, and then she gets brought up, and then here comes the costume and everything, and here comes the big whale to really just bring it to that next level. The overall presentation and the vocals too, really stunning.
I had a question about what the whale represents, I guess, throughout the movie.
Oh, I think it's like having overcome your dilemma, your fear.
Maybe your biggest one because
Yeah.
whales are like biggest animals.
Yeah, so it's like a really great big creature. So it's
Hmm.
like I guess if you're on top of the whale, you've conquered it.
We
That's
don't
how I would see the
her
whale.
ride the whale, right?
Yeah, 'cause she was the only one on the whale. That was a really cool whale.
Love the whale.
It was
I think
Yeah.
it also kind of like
Mhm.
referenced Boy and the Beast, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Boy and the Beast, Boy and the Beast.
Oh yeah,
Go watch it if you haven't seen it and you like Belle.
yeah. Boy and the
Highly
Beast is
recommend.
really good.
Ang's recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think it might also have
Soul.
to do with I think they lived in a harbor town because I think one of the old ladies was like a fisherwoman or something. I don't know. She was at the pier.
That could have something to relate to it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It was
but
more
but I'm pretty sure it was overcoming fear.
by a river, by a big river, but
Yeah, because they lived like in the country.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the water aspect and her being on top of the whale because
Mhm.
her mom drowned. I see,
Yeah.
I see, clever. Also, the high note that they hit in that song at
Oh,
the
yeah.
very end. That note is beautiful. Both the
Mhm.
English and Japanese actor behind that voice like beautifully hit that note.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Like
What did you guys
whoever
think of the
was,
old ladies?
They were
they're
cool.
very very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
They were cool. They were
And
very
they're-
I thought they were
supportive.
funny. When
Yeah.
they
The
disappeared at the
question
end.
Yeah.
about
Everyone was just-
happiness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
None of them knew.
She was like, oh,
That's a
I'm-
question that all generations have to ask each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was portrayed in
Yeah.
that one scene. I was like, wow, I lived this long and I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I love that. That was so funny. I was like, damn.
And also it reassures you that like no matter how old you get, you still will have questions about what it is. And if you haven't figured it out, it's okay.
Yeah,
At least that's what I take from it.
and just have fun.
Yeah, and just have fun.
Yeah, like they're
That's the
enjoying
most important
themselves so
thing.
much.
Does anyone have a favorite scene that we haven't discussed, or should we go down the line about favorite scenes like in the movie? If there's one that stood out to you.
Oh, I wanted
There's,
to.
there's so many.
Well, it's not a
I think
favorite.
for...
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no, go on.
it's not a favorite scene, but I thought it was really interesting. Well, this scene stood out to me a lot, but like the scene, you know, where she like revealed herself,
Yeah.
to call out to the guy, to the kid.
I saw it like he trusted her because she threw away like her like secrecy, like her anonymity. How do you say that?
Her online life.
Yeah.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
What
Sorry,
is
Her
it?
online
sorry.
persona away, so like everyone knew. She like
Mhm.
it was like something you wouldn't do everyone is afraid of being unveiled,
Mm-hmm.
but she did it
Mhm.
willingly, like on her own, and like he saw that. It was like she would go to that length for me. That was really impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it wasn't so much for him. It was like just to show the length one can go.
Yeah, I would say that like I mean in a way she sacrificed her life like her mom did, but her online world life, right? That she took
Yeah,
so much comfort
yeah,
in.
that's also.
Yeah, but they showed in the stream, right? Like those three random viewers came in and joked about calling the police, but
Mm-hmm.
they just left and didn't actually help.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
where we get this scene where he's like, he's saying over and over again like help, 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 but nobody actually wants to help. Like they only talk about helping, but don't actually help
Mm-hmm.
type thing, and that whole thing kind of exploded. Like my friends when we went and saw it didn't understand why he was so unwilling to like trust her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, why would he? Like he's been shown like nothing but distrust like for as far as we know like in his life, right? So I don't know,
Mhm.
that part was really sad. I think he needed to see her give up something in order for him to like think that he could trust her. Like she did have to earn it in that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him otherwise. So yeah.
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 Because it's dependent on our own experiences, and like you said, Moon, like he went through so many different experiences where the people that was supposed to love him ended up not giving him that. And so
Yeah.
like he would question like whether the good intentions of others is it because they really genuinely want to help like him, or is it because they want something? And that's something I think all of us struggle with, like
Yeah.
living in society.
Or if they just want to talk like say they're going to help but then like don't like nothing changes for them. Like I think that
Yeah.
can be probably like reflective in like real world
Real world,
scenarios as
yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's really easy for it to seem like people care online, but then you can kind of like think about like how much does that actually affect help someone out like in the real world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like parallels in there, but yeah, it's for sure my favorite scene because I just thought even though it's like the saddest in the movie, but when he's kind of explodes on her like that, I just like felt the emotion behind it and
Mm-hmm.
whoever
Yeah.
the actor was behind all the characters did phenomenal, but that scene like
Yeah.
really pulled my heartstrings, like
I
really
was gonna cry.
tough. Yeah.
And again,
Mhm.
it's like very parallel to real life. Even like, sometimes people ask help from like teachers or whatever, and then sometimes they don't get the help, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Which
think
is
Yeah.
sad.
a lot of people can relate to that. So I thought it was really interesting how the movie kind of took a turn. Like it was like a whole plot twist. Like this is
Yeah.
like even more serious than, a retelling of Belle. It was like a whole kind of case of like helping these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also like reflects on like how that it take until 48 hours to investigate them.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like no. A reflection like on the system, like in the real world,
Mhm.
right? And how like those situations are handled. But yeah, I also think it was like one of the best scenes. So.
Yeah. Wait, one more.
Mm.
I also really
Anyone?
loved. Sorry.
No, as many as you want.
I also
Name them
I
all.
also really loved when she actually got there. They ran to her, they hugged, and then the dad came
Mm-hmm.
out and was like, "Get back in here." And then she
Yeah.
like shielded them with her whole body, and it was like reminded him of how she hugged him in the game. And then
Mhm.
like
Mm-hmm.
oh my god! And then like the dad like scratched her face, and then she was bleeding and
No.
shit. And then
Oh
she
my
turns
god.
around
Yeah.
and she had like this dead look, like you can fight me, you can beat me up, I'm not moving. And he was so scared.
Yeah.
That's what that look kind
Mm-hmm.
of like said. Like I'm not moving. I'm gonna
Yeah.
protect these kids. You can do what you
Yeah.
I
want.
feel like
I'm not
some
moving.
people might not even understand that part where he like becomes fearful of her.
Mhm.
It's just like it's powerful, but it's like it's also confusing, I guess, to some people. They'll be like, "Why? Why is he afraid of her?"
I think people fail to see that usually people who like resort to that are usually like very scared people themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's probably, at least that's my opinion, interpretation on it, like why he would back down from her, like when she wouldn't flinch, because probably all of his life, like that was his means of control. So the minute someone
Yeah.
didn't do what was to be expected, right? It was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
defied it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that, but also exposed. Like, because weren't they live on camera?
Yeah, they're always live on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so everyone can see it.
It's that no one did anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for a long time.
Yeah.
They just
Mhm.
laughed at them, which is like really sad. But that's like how like the online world can be really like numbing like that too.
Yeah.
Or people choose to be like spiteful like that and not helpful. Like that's also the reality of like the internet. So sad reality of things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I'm confused about one thing. After all that, did the two boys just go back home with their dad, or did they
I-
run away?
That's the thing. They never really showed it, which I would.
Yeah.
It did read
Yeah.
online. A lot of people had to complain about that. That
Yeah.
they didn't like fully resolve that. But if
Mhm.
That was my biggest complaint.
by interpretation, it seems like they did go back, but now the older brother Kay has more confidence, I guess, resolve to move forward. Because if you noticed in the scenes when he was getting attacked by his father, he would just comfort the little brother, saying it was all his fault. He was kind of shouldering a whole lot of pain, I guess, and suffering to make sure his brother wasn't affected too much, and he was
Yeah.
carrying that burden. I guess that's what
Yeah.
made him strong in you as well. With that, at the end, it's kind of like he learns to grow from her, from seeing her stand up to his father. He kind of says like, "I will do the same, learning from you." So I guess in a way, it's he's just saying for the ending that if his father does that again, he won't let it happen.
I
Yeah.
also think like faith in the character herself that she would see it through. Like I think they want you to kind of like trust that she wouldn't just like go through all that and then have them still be stuck in a horrible scenario.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's like
Yeah.
some trust like that you kind of have to just like
Mhm.
assume as well. But I
Mhm.
also think that could potentially be part of the lesson like of the movie. So
But I think because it did go viral, I think, you know, authorities probably actually took action because it did go viral. Because, like, you know, IRL too, like, there are, like, abuse cases and stuff like that that go viral, and then that's the only time people actually did stuff. So it might be the
Yeah.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like their employers too, especially like your workplace is a high profile company. Yeah, they won't be tolerating that anytime soon. So you're probably fired from the word go.
well, like
Yeah.
speaking of that, like that was one of the things that me and Illvsive talked about because we had like different assumptions. I assumed that the policeman with all the sponsors was the father. Illvsive was more so like, is he? And then like watching a second time, I guess it's not as like clear or not if they are the same person. But I just saw that like I
The
somehow
father's
thought
just
that like there was that like correlation there with or the police guy losing all of his sponsors and then the father like blowing up online. And it seems like the avatar was a persona of his father because all his father wanted to do was control everything, right? Like he
Yeah.
came in and was like, "Why are you singing?" and this and that, but they never actually confirm if it's him or not.
yeah.
I guess.
I've come to a conclusion.
Yeah, I wouldn't think the father would have a account, I guess, on you. He would just be an old-timey person, sort of.
But even the old timey people had him.
No, but it was
Yeah,
all,
the old choir.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, it's not like everybody had to have one, right?
I think I was gonna go with that for Shinobu, the childhood friend, because it looks like he didn't even have a character in you,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but
don't think he.
he just knew about Belle. But it's like we never saw a character for him in a way.
Mhm.
What I was coming to conclusion was so like in you and in real life, since the stories kind of revolved around Suzu, it's also kind of like revolving around the dragon, Kay. And I think the way it was is that Kay was still being attacked in both you and in real life. And that was like he couldn't escape his suffering. I don't think necessarily that the Justin and the dad were the same person, but it was more so that he was getting attacked wherever he went.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no safe place for him other than his
Yeah.
castle. That's why if you notice like what is it, the unveiling thing? The arm thing?
Yeah.
He would always raise his hand and like point it right at the dragon. And then at the final scene, when the father came and did the same thing, it kind of like focused on his watch, and that was like very noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
And like it kind of like showing the same motions, I guess, to like try to suppress the dragon or K. And I felt like that's what it was. It wasn't necessarily that they were the same person, but it was to show a parallel that in both worlds the same thing was still happening for the dragon. And like the loss of the sponsors, I guess was because it was misuse of the unveiler. And then for the
Yeah.
dad, it was the viral video.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they both lost whatever they had. That's why the dad wanted to attack the kids even more. And like
Yeah.
Justin was like, "Oh shoot."
Oh yeah, and like because when you brought up like how things that were happening, the parallel, I think there
Mhm.
was a more physical one that I noticed too that I guess I didn't catch the first time around. That made me think about the scene where they kind of like spend more time together and get to know each other a little bit, and they're on the balcony, and he suddenly starts to like recoil, and the spots
Oh
on his back
yes.
were lighting up, right? I
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I was like, he's being hit right now, but
Yeah,
like,
it was happening.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, and
why
they never
even the angel was on the floor. Unconscious.
yeah. And they never show the father like actually physically like hitting them, but
Implied.
the
It's
kid, yeah,
implied.
would still flinch when he's yelling at him. So I think there was more of like a metaphor there of what was happening versus them showing like what was actually happening, which I also thought was like a really unique
That was
like
really good.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was very well
Yeah.
done. Because she was like, "How are the bruises appearing out of nowhere? I thought they
Mhm.
were part of his biometrics already scanned into his avatar, but they were new ones showing up." At that moment, she realized that they were being hurt
Mhm.
Oh,
physically.
so good, so good. I mean, it's bad, but like it was
Yeah,
such a good
sad,
like
but it was
representation of
very
it.
well portrayed. Yeah.
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 I wanted to mention this earlier. How they did the casting for the English.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I guess
Oh.
like whoever was doing the casting was like kind of doing it through social media.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Oh,
Mhm.
So
wow.
it could have been Moon.
I
Or it could have
I
been
could
the
ask
other
for my
guy.
avatar to be in the
Wasn't
movie.
Alan's friend the one who casted it because
Yeah,
friends with someone who was the dragon?
I don't remember. But anyways,
To ask.
so like the person they found was like someone who studied, I guess, music, but wasn't very had experience outside in like a proper gig or something.
Mhm.
And I think they found him through TikTok, maybe. I'm not
What?
sure.
Oh.
But
Oh.
this
Crazy.
person, but it kind of coincides with the movie as well because it's like someone who's not very out there.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
then they found her and they were like, wow, which was Kylie McNeil.
That's so
Mhm.
And
cool.
yeah, and then they auditioned her and then they cast her as Suzu and Belle. And she sang like those
Oh.
songs and it was really like, wow.
What?
She went from like having nothing on her like resume or anything
That's
to
so
this
Mhm.
movie being like really well performed.
Honestly, that's sick
Yeah.
because it's actually full circle to the movie, right?
Yeah,
Like
Exactly.
this girl with
Yeah.
nothing and then she
So
blew up.
good.
I didn't think of that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that.
It's so cool.
Moon next, Moon next. Next time.
No, I can't
Belle too.
speak.
Belle too.
So like,
We'll get her
you know how,
VTuber
when
bottle.
you sing, like you know how when you sing, like you kind of have to put your feeling into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not just like your voice. So like maybe she was putting all of her feelings, which like made it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
That's a really
agree.
interesting thing.
That's sick. That's so
Wow, thank
cool.
you for sharing that, Illvsive.
And then they have Lily Pichu in there and stuff too. So it seems like they like
Yeah.
really like did quite a wide search of like people to like cast in this role. I think Alan did even mention like a lot of them it was their first like big role, which is really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
think it's
god, my
very
brain is
appropriate.
exploding right now.
Yeah.
I just find like social media and stuff just very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
Would everyone go into the world, do you think, if it was available like that?
Yes.
If it had better
I probably
moderation,
would.
maybe.
There's but there's no moderation at all. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bell number
Because,
2, who created the app?
Actually, I would like to say something about that. I think me and Illvsive, like we were saying a little bit, like probably one sentence or two about it. I basically said this was our future in the Discord, and he was like, "No, not our future. Maybe a distant future." And when I think about it, like all this stuff that's coming out now, like new apps and everything, that's like the tip of the iceberg. Now we're actually trying to create worlds in the internet. Because like I'm into like cryptocurrency and like the metaverse. And practically it's getting really, really intense now that people are starting to buy up land in virtual games. There was actually a country that actually purchased like land just so they could put an embassy in a virtual game. Yeah, it's really that crazy.
Crazy.
So I think this is close to
Let
our
my
reality.
breathe.
Yeah, yeah. Like imagine like McDonald's like basically buying land just so they can basically make a McDonald's in a virtual game.
have the M on there. The song.
Yeah, that's practically how crazy it's gotten, guys.
Oh,
So I think this
man.
is our close future right here.
I don't know about that
And
for
plus, you could be your
me.
best self in there too. So it wouldn't surprise me if stuff like this happens,
I'll stick
because this
to
is gonna be
GTA.
like the new internet.
I could see it happening. I just
Probably
Yeah.
will.
I feel like we're not
There
advanced
yet.
enough for that. Yeah.
Like our
Oh
generation.
no, we're not
We're-
there yet.
we have limitations. That's what
But
my perspective was.
That's
That's
probably
like
going to be in like
Mhm.
50 or 40 years, if anything.
That's so weird to think about. That's so weird.
Yeah, I would say a shorter time frame, but
we
yeah,
do
I would probably
progress
agree with you, Karate.
fast. It's the limitations of what we have to work with.
Yeah, technology evolves really fast. Like it has to evolve like every 2 years, actually. It's crazy.
That's my
Too fast.
iPhone.
I think we have to remember that for this technology to kind of, for these things to happen, it has to be profitable to somebody, right?
That too.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be
Yeah.
profitable to somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
The
Well, like in the
billionaires.
case of the metaverse, like, Facebook is making bank off of that, especially if
I heard.
countries and companies are buying up virtual property.
Well, this is very off topic, but like I heard Facebook lost like billions in 2021.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Yeah, because people are using Facebook and Instagram less because it became very less like user friendly.
mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
that
don't
is true.
focus on the
Mm.
user experience, but how much money they can make. That's why like when you go on, you don't see posts from friends and stuff. You just see recommended.
It's very business.
ads.
Yeah.
That's why I don't. It's
Yeah.
just hard to use. I can't use it.
Like it's kind of like taking something like from LinkedIn.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Instagram was basically just trying to copy TikTok as
Mhm.
well.
Instagram tries
Yeah.
to
Copies
copy everything,
I
like
feel like.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Which is why I think the world in like you, I don't think that's really like yeah, there's an app to get in there, but I think it's more like a decentralized internet. That's the reason why we don't see like we don't know that much about it. It's just its own world.
We don't see like people getting banned because they did so and so.
Yeah, there's no administration. Everyone's like free to be themselves, even if it's chaos and destroying castles and stuff.
Destroying castles.
Or just old ladies becoming like little mini avatars of themselves. There was something that really stuck out to me. It's like when Justin was like witnessing Suzu singing, I really found it funny that there were sponsors like behind him and they were
Yeah.
just
Sponsors.
getting away from him as soon as the whale showed up.
Mhm.
Like, did anyone notice that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how we mentioned he kept losing his sponsors because
Yeah, I thought, oh my god, this is so funny.
it was in a way it's misuse of the tool he was given.
Which brings me
then-
to the question of why or how it was given to him in the first place.
I don't know
get-
why it was given, but I know that it did. The creators, the voices of you, didn't hand it to him, and it gave him the same powers basically that they have.
Because there's a group of people who like wanted like laws on the internet, which like that doesn't really ever go well. But that was
Yeah,
their like
that's
attempt at it. They were supposed to be like law enforcement.
Oh, like
Yeah.
just chosen mods, to
Yeah.
control them.
Yeah,
the
something
grammar
like that.
police.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The grammar.
that makes a lot more sense actually.
Yeah.
Oh, animation.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
yes.
it was
Beautiful.
interesting because when I found the movie like a year ago, and then like they were like doing promos on it and stuff, I was like, wow, Jesus going like CGI, like that kind of animation route. It was really off-putting to me because like I'm a 2D loyal person. I enjoy 2D traditional.
Mhm.
It makes sense why they chose to have a different art style in the game because it just kind of like takes you to a different world, if that makes sense, versus
Yes.
the
Mhm.
IRL
Yeah.
world in the story. So
Mhm.
it all makes sense. And plus, at the end of the day, like I liked it. It wasn't bad at all, in my opinion. I liked it. I think it was good.
I agree. They killed it.
It was just me being picky
Yeah.
when I first saw it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Surprised the father wasn't more part of the story, but I still feel like they did their relationship like justice, like as far as it like needed to go. But I thought he was going to be a bigger role, not as the dragon, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering as well.
Somehow.
Yeah, like I want to say something
Oh,
about that if
what
I
were you
can.
saying, Ink?
Oh, I was just saying, I was wondering as well because I was again relating it to the original Disney film a lot, and I was like, oh, like is the dad gonna be in it more or something? Because the dad was pretty much
Yeah.
like really in it, but I think it was a good representation of like their relationship and how distant they were.
King.
Also, Jisoo dads are always kind of spicy, but
I know.
Honestly, the moment I saw him, I
In
was just like,
Mirai,
oh my
the
gosh,
grandpa,
wow.
the grandpa, when he was younger. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyways,
Yeah.
Now we head into the husbando list.
add him to the list.
Well, because he
Suzu's
reminded me
dad.
so much of the dad from Wolf Children. So I
Wolf
was
Children,
like, why do I was like,
yeah.
they look all these characters, this anime style. I was like, why does this remind me so much of Wolf Children? And then later I was like, oh, it's the same studio. It makes so much sense.
I thought Suzu. She reminded
You know.
Suzu reminded her character design reminded me a lot of the mom from Wolf Children, like the way she looked. and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
I agree 100%.
And then what's his name? The dragon looked like her son
Yes.
in the anime.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
I agree.
Especially with his fierce eyes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And he was just
The
like
yellow eyes.
yeah, and he was like all
That's like-
angry and stuff, yelling at the camera. I was
Yeah.
like, bro, that's like the
Mm.
same scene when he was just like, girl, I'm gonna be a wolf. Wait, no, this is spoilers. This is
You can't
spoilers.
stop me.
Yeah, she can't stop me. I'm gonna be a wolf. Oh no.
Do you guys remember when they were all surrounding her when they were trying to look for the dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, they wouldn't let her go.
Oh, yeah.
There was a certain scene, once he unveils her, it kind of just starts falling apart. You guys
Mm.
remember that? Yeah. I guess for me, that kind of symbolized like an egg.
An egg.
And like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
it unveiled her, she like cracked open.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
like that
that's really good
interpretation.
symbolism.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
She's
know.
a
I thought that
chicken.
was really, really well
Yeah.
placed.
With all of, let's say, the followers or the people that wanted her to sing, they were bombarding her. But she had one objective, and that was to reach one person. So, like, I guess the double meaning is like, you know, she had to sing, but she had to figure out how to sing, but also reach this one person at the same time, in a way,
Yeah.
if that makes
I,
any
I
sense.
saw her more like breaking out of her shell.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
also.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was my interpretation when I first saw it, because I was like, eggshell broke.
Yeah,
Breaking out of the shell.
that's a
Big
very good
Mac.
observation,
Big
Lucif.
I like
Very good
that.
observation.
I like the whole like did it reach him line kind of thing because it reminded me of like
Yeah.
Your Lie in April, another music
Ah.
anime.
Ah,
Did it reach him? It's
It's
like did my feelings come across? Like did it translate well through this music that I've created? And I love that a lot.
Yeah, does everyone relate to a character? Did they feel like Besides
Probably
her?
like with anybody because like especially when tragedy happens, like when you lose someone so close to you, like you feel like you lost part of yourself, right? It'll take so much resiliency and adversity to allow someone to go through that sort of tragedy to bring themselves back to who's similar to they were beforehand, but also at the same time like learning more about themselves.
Yeah.
if not a character you relate to? I guess we could end with everyone saying their favorite character.
Shinobu.
Shinobu.
Yeah.
Who's that again?
The childhood friend.
How do you quickly? How do you relate to him?
To wrap up.
I wouldn't say relate too much, but I do like how he offers his guidance and protection to Suzu. He
Mhm.
sees like vulnerability and he doesn't want like anything to happen to her. So he's out there always keeping an eye on her. I like
Mhm.
that.
That's you.
That's me. That's all I got. That's all I gotta say. That's my opinion. Anyone else? Anyone?
Anyone?
New guy.
I would-
Aang Berna.
like I said earlier, I related to Suzu a lot the most because obviously, you know, online presence gives you more courage and stuff like that, and like her stuff with the singing, and then I think a lot of people can relate as well. But like, I didn't lose someone in the same way, but I guess losing people that you care about, and then kind of questioning why did they leave, if that makes sense, and trying to, you know, overcome it and understand why and stuff like that. That's like another thing I can relate to with Suzu. But she my girl. She my girl.
That's valid. That's valid.
Can anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else?
I liked everyone. I did really like the childhood best friend because I liked how he believed in her. And, yeah, like constantly. And she's like, I can't sing. And he was like, you can. That was really cute and
I
really
love
powerful.
that.
Yeah. But I did really like the dragon / beast like character. As well as like I liked how he had to be so strong and that was reflected in his avatar. I think there's something really like beautiful to be said about that too. So I really did like the dragon and the angel. They made me feel the most emotion, and empathy and sympathy. So
I agree, 100%.
nice.
Nice.
Berna?
Banana.
Berna said, "Nah."
She said, "It's- I don't want to talk about this.
Canoe guy.
Canoe.
Canoe guy.
Yeah,
Oh
I was
my
gonna agree with you.
God.
I love
I was gonna say him too.
I love him.
Yo, we're the canoe boys.
Like when he that confession scene, like, oh my God, this felt like grade 7 all over again.
Yo,
Good God.
That's why it was so realistic. It
Middle school.
was so good.
yo,
Yeah.
as soon as the confession scene came out, I was like, yo, that's me. Yo, that's freaking me. I don't care what anyone says, that's me.
Good scene. Good character.
Man.
Peter,
Yeah.
Ivan.
Ivan,
What's
you
up?
got anything?
I guess it would be the angel and the dragon for me as well. So
Nice.
Aw.
I agree with karate.
Nice.
Canoe guy. Canoe guy.
Yeah.
He's practically me. He's practically me if I got like an admirer. I'm like, oh, does that mean you have a crush on me? And it's like, oh, okay. That's my exact reaction.
When they actually
yeah,
say
I-
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Berna.
relate to him more.
I would say Canoe Boy too.
Wow.
Canoe boy.
That's
Because
okay,
he's
that's
very-
fine.
because
actually.
he's pretty. I like how passionate he is, and I don't know. He seems very blunt about what he thinks, and I really like that. And
Such a main character.
he seems like a very pretty confident character. Even though he's very awkward, he still like tries his best.
So cute.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, it doesn't get in the way. Like he treats it like it doesn't get in the way of
Yeah.
socialization.
Yeah, and it's like it's a normal thing, and it's okay.
Yeah.
He's dorky. I love it.
Yeah, I do
So
like
good.
dorky characters, silly characters. I can't help
I gotta
it.
practice that more.
Seems like Canoe Guy has stolen the endgame spotlight.
Yeah, canoe guy. Oh
I'm
no!
surprised. I thought I would be the only one to.
No, no.
No, because like
I
the
did
moment,
really like him.
yeah, the moment I saw him, like, guys, join my club. I was like, boy, I will join. I
It's
will
like me with
join.
every hobby
I don't know how to
have.
swim, but I'll join. If I drown, save me. I trust you. You know,
Canoe
like,
on over to me.
for real. I find it funny because like usually like I love the main guy, but like he's kind of like generic, you know, generic main guy. But it was
Yeah,
like,
cool guy.
Canoe boy. You
I didn't
did
even
it.
want it to be cool. He was just, this is right.
He's just popular.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even he was popular. It was just
He was
his accent.
popular.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if he was popular or he was handsome. He just did the right thing.
He was just straight up cool. That's
Yeah,
basically
straight
it.
up cool without.
He didn't
Yeah.
care about
Ooh.
all of that, which made him even cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He didn't care about what
Yeah.
other people thought.
I like how Illvsive just
Yeah.
defends his favorite character like really hard. It's like, you know
Yeah,
what?
we didn't even say
No,
anything bad.
Canoe Boy is not best boy.
Canoe Boy.
The only thing,
Title. Canoe
the only
Boy.
thing about Canoe Boy that I liked was how he quickly jumped to conclusion. Wow, she's supporting me. Oh my god, she's got a crush on me. Do you hear that?
I mean, that's actually like, you know, basic like middle school guy thought. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know, that's what I commented when I was
That's
seeing
like
it. I was
many
all
guys'
boys
thoughts.
relate. All boys relate.
Yeah.
Sweathead.
Oh boys.
Oh my
But
god,
I
I was
like the way he did it because even like she like denied it and stuff like that. He was like still pretty cool with it. He was like, "Huh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made
Yeah,
a
like-
mistake."
That's the right
Like,
way.
yeah, that's the right way.
Guys, learn from Canoe Boy.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna learn how
Oh
to
yeah.
canoe,
Oh, I learned a lot.
but you'll learn how to be rejected.
oof, my heart.
And take
but still
like
make
a
it,
chance.
but still make
Yeah,
it funny.
I don't say anything wrong with like asking that question, but it's like how you accept
it.
what the answer is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Super good point.
Love it.
Oh,
Love him.
oh, can I mention? Remember the scene in the beginning, that part where you were talking about joining my club? It
What?
just hit
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
the
join my
reason she turned away. You know that feeling when people look at someone they like, and then the moment they kind of look in their direction, they're like, whoosh. But they also want to look back to see if they're still staring. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I
Maybe.
think that's what
Yeah.
happened. That's what gave him the
Yeah.
side
Oh,
eye.
I hate
Yeah.
that. When that happened.
It just played in my head, and I was just like, oh,
Oh.
oh.
Then you bring it up
Makes
to remember it
sense.
too. I'm like, oh my gosh.
When that happens, I can never look back because what if they're staring at?
Right?
Wait, aren't you
Sure.
curious enough to look back?
No.
No.
Side-eye,
You know when? Okay.
God.
Let me tell you
I
right
can
now.
just assume that
Let
he
me-
probably is looking.
Let me tell you right
I
now.
love how
When I
Let her
enter-
tell her
Back.
story.
When I enter a room and there's a guy I think is cute, I don't look at him at all. The ground is what I'm looking
Really?
at.
Exactly. That's why she turned. But she was just like curious, like,
She brave.
give him the side eye.
She
Give that
brave.
side eye, like,
You're
Like-
brave.
Much braver. But yeah, if you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, comment your favorite character or favorite moments
Please.
in the movie.
We would love
Please
to read
do.
it.
you didn't even mention Joy's favorite character being the dog.
The dog.
Was here for only like
dog.
2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, the
Joyce says
dog.
dog.
Why was you?
Because he said awa awa.
Because I could say because the dog was there to comfort
She
you.
said because dog.
Because the dog.
Because
Not because the dog was comforting Suzu in the beginning, but because
dog.
dog.
That's the perfect
Just the dog.
explanation. We're at 2 hours of recording.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yay! But it's okay. It's all good. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Moon, for the idea to do 8 a.m. Gaang on this. We love Moon's biggest brain. But yeah, thank you guys so much for chilling with us, listening to our thoughts and feelings of Belle, the movie. It's in the theaters right now. I'm sure it's gonna be on like G Kids if you like English dub. G Kids website. Yeah, I don't know where else it's gonna be released, but just check Twitter.
Not anywhere yet.
Anywhere
Not
yet.
anywhere yet.
But I'm sure it'll be on G Kids one
Somewhere.
day. But it's on theaters right now if you want to watch in person, which I probably highly recommend to watch in theaters. Yes.
Go watch the movie.
Just go watch it. Wait. Well, I'm sure if they're watching
probably
this,
watched
they
it
probably
already.
watched it already.
Wait.
Anyways, go
watch
rewatch
it
it.
again.
Rewatch it again. In English or in Japanese or in any other language.
Whichever you prefer.
But yeah, huge thank you to everyone who listened. Check us out on Spotify as well as on YouTube. The movie's just amazing and I love it very much. Again, also check out other Mamoru Hosada movies. Let me list them really quickly because I know y'all are gonna forget.
Girl Who Leaped Through Time.
The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast, Morai, and Belle. Highly recommend all of them. Please watch and let me know in the comments below what you think about them because I want to know. But yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much to 8 a.m. Gang for chiming in with your thoughts and everything. I love your opinions. I love you guys very much. Are we gonna do outro? Oh my god, outro! Outro! I forgot how do we do it? How do we do it again? I forgot. I can't remember.
If it's
Oh.
not
Who wants
yeah.
to lead it? How about Moon leads it this time?
Oh my god, Berna just putting Moon on the spot.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
I don't
fuck
remember
If
it,
you
man.
want to, you don't have to.
I don't
did-
remember
I
how-
replied to
Ready?
it.
Our podcast comes to an end. Thank you for listening. Never forget, it's always 8 a.m. somewhere, and then you go, but
Not
not,
over
Ah,
here.
But not what?
but not here.
But not
Not
here.
here.
Good night
Okay.
here.
Because it's almost
Okay.
12 currently.
Yeah, it's almost all.
Wait, is that it?
Okay,
Yep.
but
Pretty
Moon.
much.
Oh,
Start it off.
Moon.
No, you do it, Elusive.
Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do it again with Elusive. Elusive, you can do it.
Fine.
It's okay, it's okay.
Our podcast comes to an end. Thank you for listening. Never forget, it's always 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
somewhere.
But
But
not.
not over
here.
here. Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks
Oh my
guys.
God.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Bye. Adios.
Goodbye and good night.
Bye.